In the teaser trailer for House of the Dragon Episode 10, we can see Damon interacting with a brand new dragon in a cave. Today I'm going to be breaking down exactly who that new dragon is, as well as his history in the past of Fire and Blood, who his previous writer was, and why he is so important to the history of the continent as a whole. It's going to contain no spoilers for the duration of House of the Dragon up until this point and into the future, as I'll just be going over old book material, history, stuff like that. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that typical YouTube stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, let's hop into the history and lore of Vermithor, the Bronze Fury. Vermithor, in addition to having the coolest name of any dragon, in my opinion, is quite important. At present, he's the second oldest living dragon. He is almost 100 years old, actually, as of our meeting him in episode 10, which makes him nearly as large as Vhagar, which is quite important. The Greens claiming Vhagar early on in the conflict is a huge advantage for them. So having a dragon this size on the side of the Blacks could be a very beneficial thing for their side. He's only had one rider previously, and that was a very important rider who we've actually met in this show. In the very first scene of the very first episode, we see King Jaehaerys I, the previous monarch before Viserys. He's the longest lived and most kind of well-respected king that Westeros has ever had, outside of maybe the Conqueror. And that's only in the respect department, not in the longest lived department. He did a lot of good things, building roads, abolishing old bad laws, things like that. And his dragon, Vermithor, was always a very concrete symbol of his power at that point. And I think that it still being alive could be a huge boon for Rhaenyra's side of this conflict. Particularly the fact that if somebody claims this dragon, it could be seen as a sign that, yes, the old king would approve of Rhaenyra's claim, not Aegon's claim. I do want to clear something up, though. I've seen some people talk about Damon's scene in the cave there in the teaser and think, oh, he's trying to claim Vermithor. I don't think that's what he's trying to do at all. You cannot claim another dragon. No human has claimed more than one dragon in their lifetime. And I don't think that Damon would be the first to do so, as it would go very much against a lot of the lore that we've seen up until this point, both in A Song of Ice and Fire and in the just Fire and Blood history. There are three things worth noting about Vermithor's temperament as a whole. Firstly, he has had a rider before. This makes him more kind of amenable to having a rider again, at least as compared to other wild dragons on Dragonstone. This hasn't really been touched on in the show so far, but there are several wild dragons on Dragonstone, a lot of which have not ever been ridden before. So Vermithor might be a bit of an easier time if you're going to try to ride him, rather than if you're trying to ride one of the wild dragons on Dragonstone. It's also worth noting that Vermithor has never seen battle. Jaehaerys ruled over years and years of abject peace, which was fantastic for the realm and for his reign. But like Rhaenys has this speech about in the first episode, it leads to knights and dragons who are not experienced in battle by any means, who are kind of just not going to be as proficient in battle as someone like Vhagar, who has seen 100 battles, according to the book, which is probably accurate given her role in the conquest of Westeros. So I think that Vermithor would be quite good in combat, just purely due to his size, but his experience could be a bit of a gap between him and Vhagar overall. And it's also worth noting that Vermithor is one of only two dragons we know to have a concrete romantic partner. Him and Silverwing, who is the dragon of Jaehaerys' queen, who we've not yet seen in the show, were very much intertwined. They very much went everywhere together and seemed to be very much in love, which I always thought was kind of cute. It's nice to see that even dragons can have nice relationships at times. And honestly, they seem to have a better relationship than Jaehaerys and Alysanne did in a lot of times, but I won't get into that this video. As for Damon's reasoning for seeking out Vermithor now, I could see a couple possible schools of thought. I could see him going and kind of meditating in this time of war, just reflecting on his thoughts in the presence of this old and great dragon, or I could also see him kind of starting a ball rolling. I think that an advantage that the Greens have is that all of their dragons seem a fair bit bigger than those of the Black side. So I think that Damon could be potentially investigating Vermithor, trying to see whether or not he would be amenable to a new rider and whether or not the Blacks would be willing to put forward anybody else who might not have a dragon as of yet in order to claim Vermithor. Not Vhagar, sorry. Both V names, both big dragons. but not the same dragon. Notably, Damon's daughter has not yet claimed a dragon, Bela, so that could be somebody they put forward. But there are, I'm sure, a number of other candidates who could step forward as candidates to claim a dragon. It is worth noting that the young sons of Damon and Rhaenyra would not be able to claim these dragons, as Aegon does already have a dragon, very young, named Stormcloud, and Viserys is currently with a dragon egg and trying to hatch it. So assumedly, because of their very young age and the fact that Aegon already has a dragon, they won't be the ones to try to claim Vermithor. It's worth noting that while he's not very experienced in battle, Vermithor has seen nearly the entire realm. Over his long reign, Jaehaerys and his wife Alysanne toured the entirety of the Seven Kingdoms, and the two of them spent an extended amount of time in the north specifically. It was rare to have dragons in Winterfell, but there were 6 in Winterfell during Jaehaerys' visit, one of them being Vermithor and another one of them being his mate, Silverwing. So that was the video on Vermithor. What do you think of this massive bronze fury that we've now just seen once in the trailer? What do you think he's going to do in this episode on Sunday? What do you think he's going to do in the future of House of the Dragon? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Comment, let me know what you like about Vermithor or don't like, who your favorite dragon is, all that typical stuff. And yeah, next week we're going to be doing a fair few videos on House of the Dragon. I think that I'll probably end up doing a video about the finale soon after it comes out, and then I'll probably do a ranking of the episodes of House of the Dragon Season 1, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one.